On Wednesday, May 11th, Hopkinton Hillers boys tennis battled Medway and took the sweep. Lex K, Adam Glace, Pranav Kapoor, and duos of Spencer Smith, Rashid Shakar, and TJ Whedon, along with Andrew Palacios, all winners for the Hillers. Girls tennis took the 4-1 win for the Hillers over Medway. Riley Kradenmaker, Victoria Allen, and doubles featuring Haley Kessler, Romy Zinman, and Brooke Best, along with Ashley Pepin, all winners for the Hillers. Girls lacrosse dropped a tough one to Norwell on May 11th, 14-3. Hiller boys track and field took an 86.6 to 49.5 win over Ashland on May 10th. Drew Bilobreski, Seamus Murphy, Connor Dorman were amongst the first place finishers for the Hiller boys. Girls track and field took the 121 to 15 win over Ashland. Steph Johnson and Bethel Flanagan each won an individual event, setting personal best records. Hillers softball took on Medway on May 11th. Hillers leading 4-2, heading to the second inning. Up the left side, and that's going to get through, and it's a tie game. And now another run going to try to score the throw. Little high, it's 5-4 Medway. A 2 RBI single for Claus. And this is ripped in the air to left field. That's going to get down. One run is in. Here comes a second run. DeSimone heading to third. And it's a 2 RBI double by Holly Paharik. And we're knotted up at 6 apiece. The makings of offensive battle here. Hit high in the air, left side, and it is caught. Runner from third going to tag. The throw is going to be off the mark, and the Hillers take the lead. A sacrifice RBI flyout by Callery. Hillers played several runs in the inning. Medway did make a big comeback in the 6th inning, but it wasn't enough as Hillers win 16-14 and improve to 8-5. Hiller baseball took on Medway on May 11th. Hillers got things going in the first inning. And he gets a good piece of this up the right side. Fair ball. One run in. Here comes another. Hallenbeck being waved around. Now a third run going to try to score. Paharik coming around and sliding in a third with a 3 RBI triple is Dylan Locke. So the Hillers starting off with some fireworks. They lead it 3-0 as Andrew Gahn coming to the plate. The 1-0. And this is tattooed to left field. That drops in, and here comes another run to score as Dylan Locke will make it 4-0. An RBI single by Andrew Gahn. At one point, the Hillers led it 15-6. Medway climbed back in, but they hung on. Over to the second baseman. The throw to short for one. Throw to first. They double him up, but a run scores. Sacrifice RBI for Mike Burney. 5 Hiller runs score, and Hopkinton would end up taking the game 9-2. Hillers improved to 9-5 with the win. You can view the senior night festivities on the May 18th edition of HCAM Sports Talk. On Thursday, May 12th, Hiller softball battled Nitmuck. Hopkinton trailed 2-0 heading into the bottom of the first. And this is ripped into right field. That's going to get down. And here comes a Hiller run. Jurassic being waved around. Here comes a second run. DeSimone is going to score. And Paharik is stopped at third. A 2 RBI triple. And it's a 2-2 game. Expect Paharik to take off. And this is up the left side. Picked up by the third baseman. Paharik's taking off. The throw home. They got her. No, they didn't. She avoided the tag. It looked like they got her, but she avoided the tag. Outside, got away from the catcher. Cedia taking off. Throw to third is going to get into left field. And Cedia is going to stay put at third. Pessin advances up to second. and she's automatically going to get to go home because of the overthrow. And Pessin will move up to third. So that's going to make it a 4-2 game. Hillers played 4 runs, but Nipmuc responded in the top of the second. She's a great hockey player as well. Into right field, that's going to be a fair ball. Patrick coming around third base. She'll score with ease. An RBI single for Ella Kelvey. Now she's going to advance to second as the throw is home. And there's a bunt up the third base line. Throw to first is high. Runner from third coming home. And we are tied back up at 4. So Kay Johnson reaches on the errant throw. And Calvi scores on the error. Hillers would end up falling to Nipmuc by a final of 12-10. The Hillers fall to 9-6 with the loss. Hillers softball jumped right back on the winning track on Monday, May 16th. With a 4-3 win in Westwood, Hillers improved to 9-6 with the win. Hillers and Medway boys lacrosse met up on May 12th. The game went into overtime tied at 12.
4 seconds, 2 seconds. There's a shot and a goal!
No way!
A goal by Hopkinton to tie it up as time expires.
At zero!
And we're underway. Hopkinton battles and spins. He's in, and a goal for Hopkinton. At 3:33 of the 5th period, Hopkinton now leads 13-12, and I take it it's a sudden death overtime.
Owen McDonald nets the game winner, and the Hillers grab the overtime victory, 13-12. Hillers improved to 4-7 with the win. Boys lacrosse then improved to 5-7 on Monday, May 16th, with a 10-6 win over Algonquin. Owen McDonald had 5 goals in the win. Hiller girls lacrosse picked up a 10-8 road win over Medway on Thursday, May 12th. Emily Hayward and Michaela Scanovan each had hat tricks in the win. Hillers improved to 4-9 on the season. Hiller girls tennis improved to 13-1 with 3 straight TVA large wins. They beat Ashland via a sweep on May 12th. They then beat Norton 4-1 on Sunday, May 15th. And then took down Westwood 3-2 on Monday, May 16th. All 3 singles matches won for the Hillers against Westwood. Hiller boys tennis picked up a 4-1 win over Ashland on Thursday, May 12th, and took down Westwood on May 16th 4-1. Boys tennis is now 11-1 on the season. Hiller baseball fell on the road to Westwood 3-2 on Monday, May 16th. The Hillers are now 9-6 on the season. Hillers of the month include Holly Paharik of the softball team. She is in the team lead for team batting average and has been a huge asset to the team and the Hiller community. Nate Petrie of the boys lacrosse team, also a Hiller of the month. After having 2 broken wrists keep him out his freshman season, COVID canceled his sophomore season and tearing his ACL a week before his junior season and dislocating his kneecap this past winter, he is still with the team and has been a great example for his teammates. Congratulations to Holly Paharik and Nate Petrie, your Hillers of the Month. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this segment of HCAM Sports Talk. We have the guys back. We got Andy Barron from MyFM 101.3 and Jared Keene from the Metro West Daily News. Guys, how are you? Welcome back.
Hello, Tom. Hey, Jared. Good to see you. It's been a long time.
Good to see you guys. Definitely, it's been a little bit of time, but it's good to be back.
We had a lot of recap shows recently, a lot of Hiller recap shows, a lot of good games happening throughout the spring. So certainly wanted to highlight those games. Hiller baseball, softball, they've both clinched playoff spots. So they got some great wins as of late, and they'll be heading to the postseason, which will certainly have as much coverage as possible as on HCAM. And we also have senior night games this week as well. Head over to hcam.tv to see our upcoming broadcast schedule. Jared, I'd imagine you've been pretty busy covering a whole lot of games. How has your spring been?
It's been pretty good. Done a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Getting to look at some different teams and just trying to keep busy and but it's been good. Definitely, I'm a big lacrosse guy. I've gotten to see some good lacrosse, so it's nice. And just chugging away.
Absolutely. Been some great lacrosse this season. Hiller boys just had a classic against Medway the other day, scoring in the last second of the second half, sending it to overtime, and then scoring 32 seconds in overtime for the upset win over a good Medway team. But they were young this year, so they started off a little rough. I don't know if they'll be going to the postseason. They are, I think, 4 games below 500 right now. So chances are they won't, but they certainly have a bright future ahead. Andy, how's your spring been? How's the buzz going?
The buzz is going great. 9 to 11 every Saturdays. And our athlete of the week has been a big hit over at the station. And speaking of lacrosse, we just had Jackson Mastriani from Blackstone Valley Tech was on last week, an outstanding young player there. We had Kate Powers from Hopkinton back on, I believe,
Awesome.
in April.
Awesome.
Of course, she's going to the University of Kentucky this upcoming fall. So it's been a really big hit with the station. We've had a lot of local guests, coming on and whatnot. And it's been going very well. It's definitely been a busy spring over there. And make sure to tune in every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on 101.3 My FM.
I'll
Big
tell
fan
you,
of Kate Powers. She's awesome.
Absolutely. Great interview.
if you ever
Yeah.
got the chance,
Nice kid too. Great athlete.
If you ever got the chance to see her throw a shot put, you'd be in shock. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
She's
Her
unreal.
best event is actually the what's it called? The weight throw.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, that's her best event. She is elite, man. What an
Yes.
athlete. Just a stud.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It'll be a long time before you see somebody like her again. I mean, she's that's an elite athlete. I believe she'll be going to a New Balance, the New Balance meet this upcoming summer. So I'm sure she's going to be doing.
Yep.
She'll be definitely competitive in that meet, no doubt about it.
Yep.
Absolutely. And then she'll be at Kentucky next fall. Wildcat. Certainly well deserved. Tremendous athlete.
Just real quickly too, another team that is doing very well too. Milford Volleyball, ranked number 1 in the state right now in the MIAA for Division II. They have had an outstanding season, and they have a shot to win a state championship. I think they're going to be right there. I know they dropped a match to Westfield, who was a very, very good team. I think they're 2 in the state. So, but that's a team you're definitely going to keep your eyes on going forward.
Andrew does a great job with that team. He's a great guy too.
He
Big
is
fan of his.
very good coach. Yep.
I wish there was more TVL boys volleyball teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not a lot, but
So it's basically like Millis and Medfield, and yeah.
Yeah, I think Norwood has one.
Oh
But,
yeah.
Not
Norton.
too many.
but the teams that have them are very good.
Yes.
I mean, all those teams you named are certainly very good. So should be a very exciting tournament coming up. And also Franklin boys, I believe their baseball team's ranked number 1 right now in the MIAA. So there's going to be some teams in our area who are definitely going to make a run at a state title. I don't think there's any doubt about it.
Yep. Franklin will be at the Pedroli tournament this weekend. I think they play Natick on Thursday night. That should be a good game. And then they'll play either Lincoln Sudbury or Hopkinton on Saturday.
That's a great tournament. That's always a really competitive tournament. It should be a fun one.
Yep.
I'd love to see Franklin Hopkinton. That would be fun. But we got to see a fun game last night on Monday night. Celtics Miami game 4. Celtics just absolutely dominated Miami. They might have been more flat than any playoff team I've ever seen in a playoff game. They didn't hit their first field goal until there was about 3.5 minutes left in the first quarter. Celtics were on a 16-1 run at that point before they hit a 3. And then Boston led 29-11 after the first quarter. Celtics continued to pretty much dominate in the second quarter as well. They led 57-33 at the halftime break. Then after the third, 76-52, and they end up winning 102-82. Jason Tatum, 31 points. Al Horford, a beast on the boards with 13 rebounds and 4 blocks. Miami's starters, 18 points in total. That is brutal. And all 4 games, in all 4 games of the series, one of the teams have led by at least 20 at some point in the game. So it's kind of been one of those series where there really hasn't been too many close situations. Obviously, you had game 3 where the Celtics were down most of it, similar to kind of what Miami was doing on Monday night. But Celtics ended up coming back and at least making that one a game, and almost were able to pull it off. But they just, it was just too much to handle on game 3. But game 4, what a big swing. And Miami, wow, they looked really flat. And I don't know what to expect in this series. Obviously, if Miami has another game like they did game 4, I think Celtics take it. But I don't know what you're going to get next game. It's been very unpredictable, guys. What are your thoughts on this series so far? Jared, we'll start with you.
Ooh, where do I start? First off, I think you have to give Ime Udoka a lot of credit for the way he was able to get the guys to bounce back after a brutal game the other night. I mean, he is a terrific coach. Let's not beat around the bush here. The guy can coach some basketball, and he really knows how to coach some defense. Last night it was pretty clear we made some things tough for their starters. Didn't really get them, and didn't allow them to get in any rhythm. Last night was a must-win. But what impressed me the most last night wasn't even defense. It was the fact that we really dominated the game and were able to build such a big lead without relying on the 3. This is a team that obviously, can really make some threes. But last night, they between Tatum Brown and Derek White, they were 2 for like 18 or something at some point from 3. Made a few threes later in the game, but just really moved the ball nicely, got it going, drove it to the lane. Were able to be effective, and I don't really know where this could go. I would be surprised if we won next game by 20 or lost next game by 20. Obviously Miami is going to look to bounce back now, and but certainly a really nice win last night. And obviously Robert Williams affecting the game, Al Horford continuing to play great, Peyton Pritchard, love Peyton Pritchard, probably one of my favorite players on the team. Just the job he does off the bench, coming in, making shots, playing good defense. I like what I'm seeing, but again, I don't know how the rest of the series could go. Like you, Tom, I don't know what to expect.
Absolutely. It's been very unpredictable, and obviously it's been nice having Robert Williams back as well. Andy, what are your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts, and I think we were texting about this the other night, but Derek White was the player of the game. He came out like gangbusters last night, scored the first 7 points, and Miami had no chance after that. They really didn't. He was put in another tough spot because Marcus Smart was out of the game, and he's proving that he's a very valuable player to this team. But the one thing that really is standing out to me, and it's now becoming more evident, they have no answer for Robert Williams. The size differential, there's nobody who's as big as him, as Robert Williams. And that wasn't like that against Milwaukee because they had Giannis and they had a lot more size. But the Heat have no answer for him. None whatsoever. And if he can just stay on the floor, I don't see how Miami wins this series. They don't have the height. I don't think Jimmy Butler is 100%. I think he's playing through something. I mean, in fact, I think pretty much everyone's playing through something at this point. But it's always comes back to that the Celtics are able to respond. That game 3 was a dreadful start, and you cannot go down by 26 points and expect to win, even though they almost did. But going to the basket last night, big thing. No, they really didn't hit a lot of threes last night, and they just methodically just dismantled Miami. But I think if you win game 5, you win this in 6. I just don't know if Miami has enough. Now they did win a game here, which I didn't think they could do. I don't know if they can win 2 here. I just really don't know. Can the Celtics win another game in Miami? Sure. I think they can. But I think Robert Williams is the key. I think if the Celtics can have their starting 5 on the floor for the rest of this series, I think they take it. I think they're the better team, but they have to show it. You have to show it. You have to go there and you have to get the win. But you have to like your chances now.
They're a better
right
team, but the better team doesn't always win a series. You know,
Right.
but
Yeah.
I mean, in this case, I think you're right. I think if they win game 5, they're probably in pretty good shape to take this series. I mean,
I think they are.
I have to agree. They definitely have more talent overall than Miami. They definitely have more height. I think they're more well-rounded. I think their bench is better than Miami's for the most part. Especially with a guy like Pritchard, who's been terrific
great.
in the playoffs. He had
terrific.
Yes.
14 points
Just a
last
fantastic
night.
player. Love watching him
And
play.
Grant Williams have been
Yep.
great for this team. And I guess
last night he was so 1 for 8 from the.
Oh, yeah, but he's going to have off games too. But overall, he's been very, very good. Now, I think the big question is, I mean, does Smart play tomorrow night?
I hope so.
I hope so too.
Yeah, I mean, game 2, he was huge in game 2. They didn't end up needing him yesterday, though. I mean, I
No,
think having
but
Robert
again,
Williams helped them without
did.
Smart.
Absolutely.
Well, no, but as Andy alluded to, Derek White was immense last night and really set the tone from the start of the game, and that was huge. That was massive. Just the job. I mean, filling in for a guy like Marcus Smart who can affect the game in so many different ways. Yeah, I mean, to come in and really set the tone last night was immense.
They had no answer. The Heat had no answer for it whatsoever. But I still think you need Marcus Smart. You still, whether or not you like.
No, I agree.
You need him. You're going to need this guy.
His
But I just
leadership,
think-
his defense. I mean, he affects the game so much defensively, and his leadership is second to none.
Yeah, I just think though when after I got done watching that game last night, I'm like, Robert Williams is the key. He really is, because who knows? Like one game he plays, the next game he doesn't. I mean, it's got to be tough coming back from an injury like that. But you can't deny just how dominating he is in the paint. And we also need to give Al Horford credit.
Oh, definitely.
Fantastic in the postseason.
Yep.
Just been
Playoff Al coming alive, just like he always does.
He has been so clutch, and
He's been awesome.
on both sides.
Yep. He just dominated the boards last night. 11 defensive rebounds, 13 rebounds overall. He was just a force to be reckoned with, and Miami just could not stop him. The Celtics dominated every facet of the game on Monday night. The score doesn't even tell the story. You look at the score, it was only a 20-point game. It was somewhat close. No, it wasn't. Miami never had a chance in this thing. They were never even close. I will actually be, I don't know what I'm going to get in the rest of the series. Looking at the talent the Celtics have compared to Miami, I'll be disappointed if the Celtics lose this series. I mean, they've dealt with some injuries. They had Robert Williams out for a while. They had Marcus Smart out for a while. They had Horford miss game 1. But they have enough talent to fill in for these guys for a game or two. You don't permanently want to lose a guy like Smart or Williams, but they're very well-rounded. They have plenty of talent coming off the bench, and they have that next guy up mentality. They have guys like White and Pritchard that could fill those gaps when someone like Marcus Smart or Robert Williams is out. So they don't really have a whole lot of excuses to lose this series, I think. They should win it. They should. Obviously, Miami, they were the best regular season team, but as one of you said, I think it was you, Andy, they don't have the height to keep up with the Celtics team.
No, and they're a talented team. Don't get me wrong. They are a good team.
They are, yeah.
I think Victor Oladipo has been their best player. And if it wasn't for him last night, this game isn't even remotely.
Yeah, he looked good last night.
He's been very good. I think he's their best player right now.
He was last night, 23
the other night,
points.
though, was Bam Adebayo. I mean, and I'm a little flabbergasted as to why they aren't going to Bam inside a lot. I mean, because the other night when they went to him, good things happened. I mean, he had his way the other night inside in the post. Little jump hooks, dunks, etc. I mean, again, I'm a little surprised they're not going to him more, but yeah, I mean, obviously the Celtics have positional versatility to be able to guard him in different ways. But yeah, I don't know. Just a little surprising again, considering how well he played the other night.
I'll tell you, this has been it's been one of the most seesaw series I've ever seen. Just how the momentum has tipped back and forth in this thing. And the fact that you really don't know what you're going to get in game 5 or 6. But I'll tell you one thing, the Celtics, they had a bad loss in game 3. And it seems like whenever they have those bad losses, they have rebounded.
We didn't mention this, guys, but they took care of the ball actually last night. We were texting about this, but they needed to take care of the ball last night. That was priority number 1 after the other night. They were awful the other night. Way too many turnovers, way too many terrible passes that led to Miami steals and fast break points. And again, that's partly what did us in the other night and kind of rough sequence toward the end of the game when we were trying to make a comeback. But yeah, I mean, obviously took care of the ball a lot better last night, which was huge.
Certainly did. And just keep in mind, like all those turnovers they had in game 3, and they only lost by 6 points, which is remarkable. They really
I said it though. I would have rather been blown out by 30, man. They gave us such hope. And then for Strus to hit a 3-pointer, terrible possession by the Celtics. Bam hits like a crazy 18-footer at the shot clock buzzer. And then the Celtics turned it over. I mean, that was the game right there the other night. And that's tough. That's tough.
They didn't quit. They fought back. I thought the game was long over at halftime, but they showed that they can fight back.
No, I agree. I think that's I mean that's good to see, but I don't know. It was just disappointing. I think it almost made it a little more disappointing though the other night.
Yeah.
I'll tell you though, Miami, they just look so flat on Monday night. They look like they weren't even into it. They just weren't ready to play. I don't know what it is.
Game too as well. They sometimes they just don't look like they're interested out there. They're just kind of like, they're just going through the motions.
Right. 18 points for all your starters. That is unbelievable.
Well, I don't think they're going to play that bad again. I don't think they can do that another game. I mean, I guess
if they're done.
Oh, yeah. If they do. Yeah, like I said, I think this is a must-win for Miami. I think if they lose game 5, they're done. I just can't see them coming back into Boston and win. And again, I could be totally wrong. I've been wrong on the series quite a bit, but I think this is a must-win for Miami because I still think the Celtics can win a game 7 in Miami.
Oh, absolutely. And this is a game that you would imagine Miami's going to get up for. You're going back home. You're on your home floor. You just got blown out. You'd imagine they're going to have give it everything they got and really get up for this game. This should be a tough game, and this could very well determine the series. Because I don't know.
Can we also mention that the Celtics were 8 for 34 last night from beyond the 3-point line and still won that game by 20?
Wow. Yeah, that's true. They were not shooting well.
No.
Especially from the perimeter. They did not shoot well. They should have been up a lot more when they were up 16-1. I mean, you're 7.5 minutes into the game or 8.5, and you're up 16-1. I mean, 16 points in 8 minutes. It's all right, but when your opponent only has 1, I mean, you really got to pounce on that. And I was kind of getting nervous when Miami started to hit some shots because I felt like the Celtics didn't do enough when they had that opportunity, that 8.5 minute time frame where Miami just had 1 point. But clearly they were able to keep them at bay. And, it was pretty even for the rest of the game after the first quarter. In the second quarter, it was 28-22 quarter, 19-19 third quarter. Miami outscored the Celtics in the fourth, 30-26. So if Miami didn't shoot so bad in that stretch in the first quarter, this very much would have been a closer game.
Yep.
Yeah, it probably would have. I just think the Celtics defense just made life miserable for Miami. They just the Heat were bad. Like they were just played bad. But like I said, it's a 3-game series now, and anything can happen. It still isn't going to shock me if it goes 7 games.
No.
At this point. And here's the other question I have. If the Celtics do get past this series, I mean, how much do they have left, really? Because this Golden State team, they're not going to be afraid of you. Okay? No. They are a great team, and they have a lot of experience. You're going to need everybody you can to beat that team.
they have just been beating up on Dallas.
Yeah, it really hasn't been close. And how do you guard Steph Curry and Klay Thompson? How do you shut that down? Really, this would be the Celtics' biggest test yet, because and
How do you
Draymond
stop
Green,
Draymond Green either? I mean, Draymond Green for his size is again one of the better playmakers I've seen for a power forward.
So that's what I'm saying. So if you somehow, best case scenario, can wrap this up in 6 games, you will have at least 5 or 6 days off. And I know that, they might be rusty for the game 1, but I think this team's going to need some rest because.
I agree, because Golden State's going to have plenty. I think they're going to sweep.
Yeah.
Hopefully Dallas could pull off one, make it somewhat of a series, but it's not looking good.
They're overmatched, completely overmatched.
Was game 4 of that tonight?
Yes.
Correct.
I think, yeah.
Not if you're watching this live, but Tuesday night, Golden State, Dallas. I was last night, if you're watching this show live.
Yeah.
And that is going to be a well-rested Golden State team in the final. So
I will say this quickly too, like I do think the Celtics have a better chance to beat Golden State than Miami does.
I agree.
I think Miami would get I think they get
annihilated. Yep.
I don't think they match up well with Golden State, but I think the Celtics actually do.
I think in a series against Golden State, it's more important that everybody's healthy. It's more important that you got Marcus Smart ready to rock and Robert Williams. You're going to need everything you got in that series.
No doubt.
I think Miami, you could probably beat them without a couple guys. Golden State.
Who guards Steph Curry, though? Who chases Steph Curry around the floor? You're going to put Marcus Smart on him? You're going to put Marcus Smart on Klay Thompson? That's a tough matchup.
Double him with Big Allen Smart.
And Jordan Poole is really good.
Jordan Poole is very good.
Yeah, like I said, this Warriors team again, they are very good, and also a very difficult place to play as well.
Yep.
That will not be if the Celtics are able to get there. That is not going to be a cakewalk.
Would East have home court advantage?
Yes.
That's big. That's big.
Which could be big, yeah.
But they still got to beat Miami. So this game 5, ultra important, because I don't know if any team in this series is winning 2 in a row unless the Celtics take game 5. Then I think it's just over. They might close it out in game 6 if they end up going up in the series, especially if Miami looks as flat as they did in game 4. I just don't see them pulling off any more wins in this series. But it should be interesting, and we'll certainly be talking about the Celtics and what they do. And by next week for our show, that series will be over, so we'll know what's going to happen.
And you have to think Miami's going to rebound like they did in Game 3. From what was obviously a terrible previous game, but. I mean, again, I could still see the Celtics going in and jumping out to a 20-point lead and rolling with that. So again, it's tough to say, Tom, like you mentioned earlier, but I mean, I think if the Celtics do take this game 5, they're in really good shape. But again, I think you're gonna have to match the Heat's intensity because there's no way the Heat are gonna quit on this series. I don't think unless they lose the next game.
Yeah, I agree.
I'll tell you what, though, it's good to see the Celtics finally back into where I think they should be. If you think about the beginning of the season, it didn't start off pretty.
No.
At all. The first half of the season was pretty much a train wreck, and then they really turned it around.
You gotta like where the team's going. It will be disappointing if they lose this series, but you have to feel good about where they're going. Agreed. They have proven they can.
And the coach. I mean, Ime Udoka, like we've talked about, has done an immense job.
Yes.
Turning things around for sure.
Oh, no doubt about it. This team is an elite team in the league. There's no question about it.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. And they very well may be the best team in the East if they get through this series. And I think they should. I think on paper, they're probably the best team in the East. But obviously, you got to win in those big playoff games. So game 5, it's a big one. Could very much determine who takes this series between the Miami Heat and the Boston Celtics. All right, so we've been away for a few weeks. We've had some good Hiller recap shows, so we never really got a chance to touch on the NFL draft. So we want to throw some of that in today. Well, I was pretty disappointed with what the Patriots did. Cole Strange, offensive lineman out of Chattanooga, as their first pick, 29th overall in the draft. So you got a guy that, as I think Todd McVay, the Rams coach, said perfectly, would have probably been there in the 4th or 5th round, and you drafted him first. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I mean, I like that they got a receiver in the 2nd round. They obviously haven't been great at drafting receivers. They got Tyquan Thornton out of Baylor. They got a couple corners. They certainly need that. They got a running back in the 4th round, which I don't understand. I think they have enough running backs. They got a quarterback, which has since been, I believe they've cut him already. Bailey Zappi out of Western Kentucky. I believe he's history. And then they got another running back in the 6th round. They didn't get a defensive tackle or any kind of lineman until late in the 6th round. Sam Roberts with the 200th pick out of Northwest Missouri State University. Then they get a center in the 6th round. I was expecting maybe some offensive linemen besides Cole Strange in the 1st round. Obviously you could have drafted him later, but I think you could certainly use some more protection for Mac Jones. And I was expecting defensive guys for your front 7 to get drafted a lot higher. I wasn't really thrilled about how they handled this draft, getting 2 running backs, one in the 4th, one in the 6th, a quarterback that you already cut. I don't know, guys. I don't know what to think of this draft. I wasn't really a fan of it for the Patriots. What are your thoughts? Andy, we'll start with you.
Yeah, definitely was a weird draft. I think a lot of people were really just like, I mean, Cole Strange taking a 21, just like, but like what? You know, I really like to have seen them improve on the defense a little bit more. But they did not get didn't seem like they got a very good grade from the experts about how they did in a draft. And I don't know if it's just you or me or something just seems off here. Like what? Like I'm sure the Patriots have a plan, but I don't see it.
I don't think they know what it is.
Well, I think they know what it is. I just don't think we like it. It just they haven't really gotten my attention. Like, okay, we signed this player, we draft, now you're getting my attention. Like, okay, Devontae Parker, good signing, but
yes,
it wasn't a game changer, you know. That's what I was kind of hoping for, but we're about close to 3 to 4 months to start the season here, and I got to tell you, I'm not feeling very confident about going to Miami week 1 because.
No.
But if they're able to get that win, that could jumpstart this team because it's been a house of horrors down there for 40 years for this franchise going to Miami. I really don't know what to think, but they are not getting a lot of good press right now. And it's tough for me to kind of get excited because I don't feel like they've improved the team.
What do you got right now? You got Matt Patricia as your offensive coordinator.
Supposedly, yeah.
You got Belichick as your defensive coordinator because you didn't feel like bringing in an actual coordinator. And you got all these mediocre, subpar coaches that were pretty much brought up under Belichick that are going to share a bunch of duties. It seems like a disorganized mess.
Why? Let me ask you this too. But you know what? Kind of wish Josh McDaniels was still here. I didn't think I'd say that. And I hammered this guy on this show for many, many years. But after everything that I'm seeing, I would have just preferred that they gave him some to stay, because now we got to start thinking, okay, what's Mac Jones going to do in year number 2? Because this is a big year for him, but I don't think you've gotten him the talent that he needs. Yeah. It's like he's a young player. He needs talent around him. I like the guy. I think he can be good. But, you know, now I will say I like Hunter Henry. I think he's a very talented tight end. They hit a home run on him. Yeah. I like Kendrick Bourne, but you need that other playmaker. And I just don't. Maybe Tyquan Thornton's going to be good. He's got a lot of good stats, a lot of speed, but Patriots have not done well drafting wide receivers. N'Keal Harry.
I do think Parker has a lot of potential, but he's a guy that has been hurt a lot.
Hurt a lot.
But when he's healthy, he
good.
can definitely be a strong, very strong number 2. I wouldn't quite call him a number 1, but on your team, he's your number 1. He's probably the best receiver you got, which I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, if Kendrick Bourne comes through this year, we know Bourne has the speed. The big question with him has been, does he have the hands? If you can get Parker and Bourne working consistently, making good plays, that could be big. Aguilar, I don't even know with him anymore. If he has another bad year, I would say see you later, sayonara, because he was just a massive disappointment last year. But
Jonnu Smith, another guy.
Yeah,
what do you got? Show me what you got.
Exactly. But yeah, my confidence is not very high. And I'm still thinking about that Miami game. How are you going to cover Tyreek Hill and Waddle? How are you going to do that with what you got? Okay, so you put Malcolm Butler on Hill. Hill is going to eat him for lunch.
Oh.
Jared, what are your thoughts?
Ooh, all right. Where do I start?
Good question.
I agree with a lot of what Andy said. I think just sort of a weird draft for the Patriots. It's obviously not great when you're getting subpar press. My issue, though, was sure, Cole Strange might be a stud. If he comes in and is a stud, sure, so be it. My issue was more with the guys that we passed on in terms of positional need at the 2 spots where we could have picked. Obviously, we traded down. If we keep that pick at whatever 22 or whatever 23, you can take Devin Lloyd from Utah, who's a great linebacker, would have fit our system awesome. You trade down, sure. N'Kobe Dean, Butkus Award winner from Georgia, still sitting there at linebacker, who didn't even end up going to like the 3rd round, which is insane.
Yeah.
Could have come in, filled a void right away. Yeah, I don't know. I had some real beef with that. That was dicey. But yeah, I mean, Tyquan Thornton might end up being awesome. I like what I see from him, and his speed obviously can create some problems. But yeah, and I like the 2 D-backs, the kid from Arizona. What is that? Marcus Jones, I think, and the kid from Arizona State, or from Houston and then Arizona State.
Marcus Jones, Houston, Jack Jones.
And Jack Jones, yeah.
There's a lot of Joneses on this team.
Too many Joneses on this team.
Yeah, where's all the Joneses?
Bring back Chandler Jones while you're at it.
That would be nice. That would be nice. Still can play.
I think they got some promise, but yeah, I don't know. Not liking where things are at really right now. I don't dislike where things are at. I just don't really like where things are at. And again,
I think right now they're probably the 3rd best team in the division.
Yeah.
The division. That's 3rd best out of 4 teams.
I don't disagree.
Yeah, I mean, the Jets have improved.
Yep.
They have improved. I mean, I don't even know if those are even guaranteed wins right now. I mean,
no,
guys, if we're talking picks, non-Patriots picks, I think the best pick in this draft was Jameson Williams going to the Jets, the receiver from Alabama. This guy, obviously, he had a ACL tear. When he comes back, he's going to be a problem in this league. And for the Jets to get him where they did in the 1st round, he is on the Jets. He's got some serious talent.
Might have the talent, but he's on the Jets. That could hurt him.
It could, but he makes them better for sure. No doubt about it.
Jared, do you think he could be another Jamar Chase? Does he have potential to be that good? I mean,
Jamar Chase set the bar high this year with the season that he had. If Jameson Williams, is Jameson Williams capable of a season like that? Yeah, but he's also coming off an ACL tear.
Hey, you know what? Half the time those guys come back better now.
Yeah.
No, that's true. Yeah, and plus, the other thing too with the Jets is the maturity of Zach Wilson. I mean, Joe Burrow is better than Zach Wilson. I think we can all
definitely
agree with that. But yeah, definitely. I thought about Jameson Williams too. He had a really. I think the Patriots were interested in him, but they ended up getting him. But I don't know. It just let's see what happens here. But I will say this too: Patriots got a tough schedule to start the season. 3 out of 4 on the road. You
Yeah.
got Miami, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and then go to Green Bay. Not going to be an easy start. That's tough.
You know what I don't get though? Like you take this guy Cole Strange, who's pretty much from a Division II school, 29th overall. You mean to tell me there was nobody 1 through 49 in that draft, because you didn't pick again till 50, who's better than Cole Strange, who's a better pick, who would benefit your team more? You mean to tell me that? All this scouting you do, you go to all these pro days, Cole Strange is it. He's the best asset you could have gotten for your team in those picks.
According to them, that's who the best player they thought the best player available was.
I'm going to be watching all those picks 1 through 49 this year. All right. And I have a feeling that there's probably going to be about 30 of them that are probably a better pick than this guy, maybe even more. And I'm being nice with that number. This is a guy that would have been sitting there in the 3rd round. I don't get their thinking with taking this guy in the 1st round. I really don't. Maybe I'm wrong. If this guy comes out to be a stud and he's unbelievable, all right, I'll eat my words. But I'm not optimistic that's going to happen, because usually when they pick these guys from these weird schools high up in the draft, it doesn't usually pan out very well.
No, it doesn't. But we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, clearly he's going to start. I mean,
well, you better. You better.
If he doesn't start, Tom's going to lose it, man.
Yep.
You already cut a guy you got in the 4th round. You know, you're getting rid of Stidham, right? Aren't they working on a deal with the Raiders?
Yeah.
So you already cut the guy that you drafted in the 4th round to replace Stidham. So now you got Hoyer, and that's it. I mean, do they even have another quarterback on their roster? I don't think they do.
No, it's just Mac Jones and Brian Hoyer right now.
Why'd they already cut this guy? Is he that bad? Or was it a money issue?
I didn't even know they cut Zappy.
That's what I heard.
Yeah. I don't
weird.
know. I mean, it's there seems to be just again, I know I've said it before, but this is a big year for this team, because if they're subpar, they're really going to start hearing it. And
Yep.
I always tell you both this: no owner wants to have bad press on his team.
Yep.
No owner does. And I'm not saying Bill's going to get fired, but he's going to start hearing it. And Bob Kraft, he's not going to want to hear it.
I'm trying to find where
It's a
I
big
thought I heard this guy got cut. Maybe I'm wrong.
I never heard anything about that, but I don't know.
All I know is that Stidham got traded, but
Yeah. All right. Maybe they didn't cut Zappy. Sorry, folks. But in any case, supposedly he's the 2nd best quarterback in the 2022 draft. A bunch of experts are saying, but we'll see about that. Well, supposedly Mac Jones is in much better shape. That's been the report. He has changed his diet and he's lost a lot of weight. So I think Mac Jones, I think that was a good pickup. And I think he has a lot of potential. I do like that pickup, having Mac Jones as your quarterback. I think he could be good, but you got to give him some weapons. You got to give him an O-line. You got to give him a defense.
That's another thing with this year's this year's draft. Again, I thought there were some good linebacker options, like I just talked about in the 20s, where we, could have picked if we stuck at 23 or even trading down. This is also a deep wide receiver class. Again, is Bill going to trade up to take a receiver? Probably not. Definitely not. I mean, there's very slim chance of that was going to happen. But it's just, again, it's unfortunate that this is such a good wide receiver class, and we didn't trade up to get one of those guys. Now, again, did we? Was that probably going to happen? No, but I mean, again, you look at Jameson Williams, look at Chris Olave from Ohio State who went to the Saints. You look at who's the kid from Arkansas, Trayvon Burks or whatever. This is a good wide receiver class. Tyquan Thornton might end up being, again, really good, but yeah.
I think it was
there was a lot of elite receivers in this class.
I think it was supposed to be
maybe not necessarily elite, but at least very good receivers.
I think it was supposed to be one of the best receiver class that there's been in a while.
Yep.
Well, we'll watch how many receivers do great that they could have selected with that 29th pick there and see if this guy Cole Strange is worth it. He better be a really good offensive lineman if you're picking him in the first round. I'll tell you that much. All right, so we're just about out of time. A few more minutes left. So let's get into final thoughts. Andy, any final thoughts as we wrap today's show up?
Are you both either buying or selling on the Red Sox?
I'm neither. I'm not buying and I'm not really selling. I'm just sort of indifferent on the Red Sox right now.
Yeah, I'm still as good as they've played. They're still got a long way to go. Like they've dug such a deep hole that it's still going to be really, really difficult for them to. I just don't know how they're going to be able to pull it off. Really, I just think there's been too many distractions. This whole thing with Bogarts, they're very inconsistent with pitching and hitting, and it just. But they are playing better. I will give them that. But still 9.5 games out of first. That's just too many, right? Still too many.
I'm selling. I think Yankees own that division. I don't think Sox have the pitching. I think they'll at least make it somewhat competitive, but I don't have a lot of faith in them.
Yeah, right. Because if they get that wild card, like they have to go play 3 on the road. Because I don't think they're going to be the number 1 wild card, and they've just made it so difficult for themselves. There's still a lot of baseball left, but they got a long way to go.
Yep.
Yes, I just hope they're at least competitive. I mean, right now they're sitting at 4th in the East. Tampa's 4.5 behind the Yanks. I think Tampa has a better chance to get a wild card over Boston, at least right now, anyway. But Sox have won their last 5, so it's good to see a little glimpse of a winning streak from the Sox. I think they probably will be competitive for a wild card. I don't think they're going to be totally out of it. And if they are totally out of it, that's a huge disappointment. But I'm not optimistic that they could take out that Yankees team. Yankees are pretty stacked this year. All right, Jared, what's your final thought?
I got a couple actually, so I'm gonna take a minute here. My first one is congrats to Justin Thomas on winning the PGA Championship. Came back from 7 shots down, had like a 2% chance of winning to start the day. Obviously, you don't want to see Pereira put it in the drink on 18 to then double bogey and really hurt his chances. But and obviously props to Tiger Woods. I've never been a huge Tiger Woods guy. As a lefty golfer, I've always been a Phil Mickelson fan. But props to Tiger Woods. He obviously toughed it out. Had to, obviously had to withdraw when he did, but give the guy credit for battling a little bit. Also, love these hockey playoffs. At this time of year, basketball is my favorite sport, but basketball is my favorite sport, but at this time of year, you can find me watching a lot of hockey. And the Battle of Alberta between Calgary and Edmonton has been immense. Just so fun watching those teams play. The hatred for each other. I mean, that first game was 9-6. Edmonton came back from 6-1 down to tie at 6-6, and then Calgary scored 3 in a row to make it. And Connor McDavid is so fun to watch. That guy is just on another level. But yeah, I guess those are my thoughts. Just a lot of hockey, and even this Blues Avs thing is wild with Nazem Kadri, getting all the threats that he's been taking, and then he scored a hat trick last night. And geez, yeah, but yeah.
It's been wild. This round of the NHL playoffs. It's been a lot of fun. And you're right, that Calgary Edmonton series, that has been fun. That has been a good one. That 9-6 game was nutty. That was just crazy.
Yeah.
So I think you actually kind of stole my thunder. I was going to go NHL as well. I think there's not much in the sports world that beats the Stanley Cup playoffs. It is just wildly entertaining, filled with great games, especially when you get into these later rounds. I have no idea who is going to take this. It's the most unpredictable playoffs in sports, I think. It's looking like the Avs pretty much have the Blues number, so they'll probably be advancing. Edmonton, Calgary, I think it's still too close to call. Carolina's looked good against the Rangers. I think the Rangers are going to have a hard time beating them. And
Tampa's been having their way though with Florida, or Tampa had their way with Florida, which was nuts.
Yep.
Held them to 3 goals all series. That's nuts.
They're still the team to beat.
Yeah.
That three-peat is real. If they're able to pull that off, wow. I mean,
Tampa Bay against the Avs could be a really good series.
I had a feeling the Panthers were going to be one of those fraud teams. I had a feeling. They got that one spot, but they don't have much playoff experience. The Lightning have all kinds of playoff experience.
Yep.
It doesn't surprise me that Tampa won that series. Probably surprises me a little that they swept it, but doesn't surprise me too much. And then the Avs, they're going to be a tough out as well. I think in the next round where you're going to get Tampa and Carolina, most likely. That could be a really fun series. So pay attention to the NHL playoffs. You don't know what's going to happen. I think it's going to be some really great games, as it always is. Such a great playoff system. Hopefully they don't ever really change the format too much and ruin it, because I think they have it perfect like it is now.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, we are out of time. That is going to do it for this edition of HCAM Sports Talk. For Andy Barron from My FM 101.3, Jared Keene from the Metro West Daily News, I'm Tom Nappy. We thank you for tuning in, and we will return next week. We'll bring the guys back, talk some basketball. At least that's what we plan on, and have some more fun. So, as always, thanks for tuning in. Take care. Be well. We'll talk to you again soon. Goodbye, everybody.